What's My Line? Brought to you by Kellogg's, the folks who bring the best to you each morning. The widest choice of cereals in the forms you like best. Yours from Kellogg's of Battle Creek. Now let's all play What's My Line?
And now let's meet our award-winning panel of What's My Line. First, the delightful star of stage and television, Miss Arlene Francis.
And now, a brilliant young actor who is up for an Academy Award for The Picture Room at the Top, who has just received an English Award for his new picture about to open at the Sutton Espresso Bongo, and he's an award-type fellow, Mr. Lawrence Harvey.
And I have to regret to you that Miss Kilgallen is unable to be with us tonight because she's in California. But I'm very pleased to announce that in her place we have the lady from I've Got a Secret, Miss Betsy Palmer.
Well, guess who's back and we've got him? It's Bennett Cerf, brown as a berry, from Florida and from Jamaica. Bennett?
Well, I resume my pleasant task of introducing our superb master of ceremonies. I hope you're as glad to see him again as I am. John Charles Daly.
It's very nice to have Bennett back again, bronzed and healthy and cheerful from Jamaica. He's already started making trouble, however, so that he hasn't really lost any of his wonderful talents while he's been away. I think probably you'd like to know that Miss Dorothy Kilgallen's not with us tonight because she is out covering the Finch trial, and it's at the great climacteric, so she had to stay in Los Angeles this weekend. But we will have her back with us very soon. It's nice to have Miss Palmer and Mr. Harvey with us, and we won't be any gentler with you than we've been with all the others on the panel. We'll also have a mystery guest, a famous mystery guest, a little later in the show, and we'll meet our first challenger after this. And now let's meet our first contestant. Will you come in and sign in, please? Well, there we go. Well, now you'll have to translate for me. I think that chalk did you ill.
Graham Lyne.
Graham Lyne. Nice to see you, Mr. Lyne.
Sorry about that.
You don't have to be sorry. It's our fault. We'll look into the chalk. Where are you from,
Too
Mr.
heavy a hand.
No, not too heavy hand. Too weak a chalk. We'll fix it. Where are you from, Mr. Lyne?
London.
From London. Well, how nice to have somebody from London with us. May I present the panel? Mr. Lyne. Mr. Lyne. Nice to meet you. Oh, yes. Will you come and join me here now? Coming from London, I wonder if you know how we keep score on What's My Line.
Well, if you use the same system as in London?
Yes, we do. We actually, very simple. Every no answer, we flip a card, and 10 no's, you've won the game. If they guess what you do before the 10, then they've won the game. All right? We will tell you, panel, that Mr. Lyons is salaried, and we'll begin with Arlene Francis.
Mr. Limes, do you work for a profit-making organization?
I do.
Do
Can I stop everything here?
It isn't profit-making in London?
No, it isn't that. It's the old memory failed me. We haven't told the folks at home what Mr. Lyons does. So I'll stop
Maybe
everything
it'd be fun for them not to know, John.
Well, it might be, but the management will get in my hair. I think we better do it. Actually, the folks at home who don't want to know always look away. So right now, we'll tell everybody at home exactly what it is Mr. Lyons does. It's just, Arlene, that Bennett's return has completely unnerved me. Do you want to take it?
Of course.
I must say, I think it's monstrous and very unpatriotic of you finding a fellow Englishman. You shouldn't tell me this before we go on the program. They didn't give me a chance. What? They didn't give me a chance.
There's been some rather harsh comment about that sort of thing in this country of late, too. We're very sticky about it, as a matter of fact. All right, Miss Arlene?
Mr. Limes, do you work out of doors at all?
Sometimes.
Is it a service that you do?
There's a service involved.
Yes.
Is there any product connected with the service?
Oh, yes.
Is it a useful product?
Yes.
Is it a product that if I went to England I might want to have?
I hope so. I can't possibly answer that.
Oh, you can force yourself.
No, I think it's fair to say that if Miss Arlene went to England, and it's a product she might like to have, yes.
I hope it's one she would like to have.
Yes.
Do we have a similar product in America?
Yes.
Is it a product that I might put in my mouth?
No.
That's 1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Harvey.
Well, if it isn't something you can put in your mouth, is it something that is of any sort of use to men and women, I mean, generally?
Yes.
Would we use it? We would. And in using it, I mean, would it benefit us in any sort of way?
Yes.
It would. Oh, well, that's quite extraordinary. Having benefited by it, I mean, would you find this particular thing that you deal with or handle anything that we might put on our particular physique?
No.
That's
We
2
wouldn't
down
put it
and
on
8 to go, Miss Palmer.
Put on a physic line?
Well,
An expression. You mean wear, don't you?
Well, I mean, yes, something that you put on over your physique, as opposed to in your physique. You see, he might be in some...
I think we opened across the whole kind of
let somebody be psychic and let's get on with the game. Miss Palmer?
Mr. Lyons, is this product something, would it benefit us physically? We established that?
Well, it's a little difficult. With your permission, let me say that if you had cause to use the product, the use of it would benefit you physically to the degree that the lack of it might tax you more physically than... How am I doing?
That's wrapping it up.
That's wrapping it up.
Yes.
You mean
I would
you
say
have...
yes, definitely. I'm not hedging.
Oh. In other words, if you were in a certain kind of predicament, you'd be better off having this.
Yeah.
Would I tend to be in the predicament more than, say, the 2 gentlemen?
No.
No.
Now, wait a minute. I'm going to have a small cut.
You know, actually,
Do you know what it is?
No, I couldn't possibly think. I mean, you know, when he says, would you benefit more than I don't know. Hey, lots of...
I say no. You say yes. Oh, man.
Over 10 years. This is the first
All right,
time.
the general say yes.
No, I tell you, Mr. Lyons and I would had a conference. I think he would prefer a no answer, but because of the terms of reference, which are peculiar to this particular program, Mr. Lyons, I would say, Miss Palmer, that we would give you a qualified yes to your question.
What was the question?
I haven't the slightest idea. No, the issue here was, would the product tend to benefit Miss Palmer more than the 2?
Yours more than mine. Yeah.
It is a product, that's right. And now, could this product, is there any mechanical parts involved
Yes.
to it? Are the parts, say, for instance, made of mineral instead of vegetable?
No.
Good.
That's 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Sir.
Not made of mineral as compared to vegetable?
No, the question was specifically asked instead of vegetable, and in that guise it got a no.
Mr. Lyons, is it Lines?
Yes.
Mr. Lyons, are there any moving parts in the product that you are connected with?
Yes.
Are there any wheels in it?
Yes.
Would it possibly have anything to do with the automotive industry?
No.
That's 4 down and 6 to go, Miss Francis.
Is it anything that a child might care about?
Anything a child might care about?
Is it something for children to use too? The But children are different in England, obviously.
No.
Child wouldn't use this.
I think that's that. Oh,
What's the
man.
matter?
You're going to age me 5 years tonight. Well, actually, here it gets down to the sensibilities of a child. I think that what we do here is we'll flip a card and you continue asking questions.
If you want this product, is it preferable to be married in order to use it?
Yes.
Oh, yes,
What has it got to
Yes,
do
all
with
right,
children?
we'll
It's the
talk
whole thing. You haven't heard about marriage and children. They go together.
Do they?
Yes. Well, now, this is something that a married person would come to you for, some service. Right? It's something that married people would use.
Yes. Please, we don't
All
export
right.
those sort of things from England.
But does it... Ush, I must have Ush.
Way too long.
Would it be found ever in a hospital?
No. 6 down and 4 to go, Mr. Harvey. I'm going to give you 1 more minute.
It wouldn't be found more in a hospital. Now, well, tell me, I mean, if it has to do with sort of men and women, I mean, if it's bound up with this sort of institution called marriage, could it possibly be something that would infer some type of sort of transportation of any kind?
Yes?
It does. And would it possibly be anything in the form of a sort of baby carriage or something like that? Yes. I'm so sorry. No, really, we have a terrible time over here with dollars. I do apologize because I'd like to have won that. I'm terribly sorry.
Well, it's not over yet.
It isn't.
No, you've just identified the product. What does Mr. Lyons have to do with the baby carriage?
Right.
Oh. Well, I see. We haven't got anywhere yet. I beg your pardon. Well, yes, if it is something to do with baby carriages, would it be by any chance anything to do with the sort of the interior of these baby carriages?
No. 7 down and 3 to go, Miss Palmer.
Well, it's too obvious. You don't make them, I'm sure.
I don't make them?
No, I don't think so. Well, they don't always give you the obvious on the show, do they? Do you measure babies for baby carriages?
I give up. I give up. I quit. Actually, Mr. Lyons is one of the owners of Lyons Brothers Limited, which might
Should have known that.
touch a spark in you, Mr. Harvey.
Well, I haven't
They
had any
make
of
baby
those.
carriages. Mr. Lyons sells them, and they're famous all over the world. As a matter of fact, Mr.
English buggies.
English
Prams,
buggies.
Prams.
Prams. Perambulators, prams.
Well, I'm sorry. You see, I've never played this game before. I think it was unfair because when you said, didn't I must continue, I didn't realize whether I had to find out whether Mr. Lyons was owner or salesman or whatever it is. So I apologize.
Well, that's all right. You don't have to
No, it's my
apologize.
fault.
No, it's
No,
perfectly
please,
all
Mr.
right.
Daly, it's absolutely my fault.
John.
Then you pay him the $50. That's how we settle.
John, this gentleman came in like a lion, and he's going out like a pram.
This is what happens when you let Bennett rest for 2 weeks. He's bad enough when he's working, but when he's rested, man, it's murderous. Mr. Lyons, hope you enjoyed your visit with us. It was great
did
to
very
have you
much.
with us.
Thank you very
A lot of fun. Thanks very much. Would you say hello to the panel personally? And now let's meet our second challenger. Would you come in and sign in, please? Mona Campbell, right? Is it Miss or Mrs.?
Miss.
It's Miss Campbell. Well, we probably have a riot on our hands now before this round. Where are you from, Miss Campbell?
Washington, D.C.
Washington, D.C. May I present our panel, Miss Campbell? Will you join me over here? You know how we keep score, Miss Campbell?
Yes, I do.
In that event, we have the pleasant duty of advising our audience in the theater and the folks at home exactly what you're like. All right, panel. We will tell you that Miss Campbell is salaried and put the vacationer to work. Bennett Cerf.
Miss Campbell, my wife's in Washington tonight, so I'm glad they sent somebody up here. Miss Campbell,
Phyllis, he didn't mean it.
Miss Campbell, do you by any chance work for the government?
No.
1 down and 9 to go. Miss Francis.
You deal in services?
Yes.
Are your services for both men and women?
Yes.
Do you deal with them directly?
No.
2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Harvey.
I'm not playing. Miss Campbell, would it by any chance have anything to do with any type of sort of charitable organization of any kind?
No.
3 down and 7 to go, Miss Palmer.
Do men and women come to you for your services? No.
4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Do you work, Miss Campbell, for a profit-making organization?
Yes.
You do. Is it what might be called a business?
Yes.
Is it a retail business?
No.
That's 5 down and 5 to go, Miss Francis.
Now, is there a product of any kind connected with what you do?
No.
6 down and 4 to go, Mr. Harvey.
Well, if you work in a business, I mean, is your business in any way, you're implying, in other words, that your business is directly connected with the people? I mean, you have direct contact with them, whomever you're doing business with?
No, I think the question was asked as to whether direct contact was had, and it was answered in
No,
the
no,
negative.
but yes, it was, I thought, oh, I see, I beg your pardon. Well, I've gone all cockeyed.
The issue here was the direct, yes.
Happens to us all. Is this business in any way connected with any type of social services?
No.
7 down and 3 to go, Miss Palmer.
Are your services more mental than physical? Yes. Well, now tell me, do you need a special training for the services? I mean, did you need to go to school a little bit longer than high school, maybe? Further than that?
I think, to be fair, Miss Moore, we'd have to say that there's a
training.
degree of special training which could be had in graduate work or could be had just in the gaining of new experience.
Do you have a title because of this training? Are you called a such and such?
Well,
He didn't say one blessed thing to me then. Not one thing.
I think we'd have to, on the title, specific title, we'd have to give you a no. 8 down and 2 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Betsy, it's Mr. Daly who's called the such and such.
No.
Miss Campbell, I would like to lump together 3 things and ask if you have anything to do with them. Advertising, publicity, or the entertainment industry. Have you anything to do with one of those 3?
Something.
Can we eliminate the entertainment industry?
Specifically?
And leave it that you are something to do with either publicity or advertising.
Well,
Public relations.
That's a deduction which we certainly will permit you, and that will give you no. That's 9 down and 1 to go, Miss Francis.
Thank you.
Well, I can't understand that. Did you just rule out all 3 then?
No,
Well,
that
there
must be entertainment.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misunderstood.
Actually, Bennett asked the question, have something to do with, and then he went to specifics. When he went to specifics, he fell apart.
So that in some sort of a vague way, Miss Campbell, you might have something to do with entertainment?
Yes, a little.
Yes?
In some vague way.
Some sort of a way. Do you deal with men and women in this job, human beings?
Yes.
Yes. Are you in any way a performer yourself?
Yes.
Yes. Do people pay for your performance?
No.
No, actually, you were very close to it. I thought Bennett was going to move in on it right away. I wanted you to know I'm glad I'm in the news business because Miss Campbell is a TV newscaster for WTOP TV in Washington, D.C. She has her own news program. Beg your pardon, Lawrence?
I said, I've been to Washington. I've never met the lady.
You haven't been in the news that day.
Besides, Miss Campbell's program is at 10:25 every morning, and I don't know, maybe you weren't up.
I've been to Washington that early. Yes.
So, well, thank you very much. I hope you had fun. It was nice to have you with us, and lots of good success in you. We'll meet tonight's mystery guest in just a moment, but first, here is a word from our sponsor. And now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery celebrity, for which my friends in the panel are blindfolded. Are those blindfolds all in place, Mr. Harvey? Cover. Blindfolds in place?
Yes, sir.
Good. Will you come in, mystery challenger, and sign in, please? All right, panel, you know in the case of our mystery challenger, we go to a different form of questioning. You ask one question at a time, in turn, moving clockwise, and we'll begin with Mr. Harvey.
Are you male or female?
That's impossible to answer yes or no.
I take it you're a man.
No.
That's one down and 9 to go, Miss Palmer.
Definitely not. Didn't you hear the reaction out in the audience? Are you a lady well known in the newspapers recently? That's not...
This is a difficult one, Miss Betsy, because I don't know what comparative you're putting down here. Let us say that our guest is well known in the newspapers continuously. Mr. Sir?
Is that fame because of eminence in the entertainment industry?
Oui.
Miss Francis?
Are you a television personality?
Oui.
Mr. Harvey?
She's a wee television personality.
Have you in any way done anything in the last week that has caused some sort of stir or other?
No.
That's 2 down and 8 to go, Miss Palmer.
I would like to say something now, and just it's a wild guess, purely because I have worked for Mr. Goodson and Mr. Todman before, and they always pull real kind of sneaky tricks. And they have me here tonight, and I'm wondering if that is Dorothy Kilgallen over there.
That's 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Sir.
Good. Very good stab, though. Are you on a regular television show that appears at regular intervals?
No.
4 down and 6 to go, Miss Francis.
Do you sing?
Oui.
Mr. Harvey.
We singer.
Are you in a play of any kind on Broadway at the moment?
No.
5 down and 5 to go, Miss Palmer.
Is your name French? I mean, are you French, or were you at one time? Oh, I'm all confused. Oui? Yes, she was. Mm-hmm. I bet you we know who it is.
Well,
Sir?
I don't. The only French girl I think of at the moment is Genevieve. Are you Genevieve?
No.
6 down and 4 to go, Miss Francis.
Did you get a yes for are you French or were you French at one time?
Yeah.
Yes? Oh. Are you in New York to appear on a special television program?
Oui?
Mr. Harvey.
Didn't help me. French.
I know.
You do?
I think I do, yes.
All right. Who is it?
No, I mustn't allow myself to
You must force
go
yourself.
that far. Could it possibly be Simon Signoret?
No. 7 down and 3 to go, Miss Palmer.
Always trying to get plugs for room at the top, isn't he? My goodness. Very well, though, you should, always. Are you blonde and small? No.
No, and I'm going to have to. Sorry, we run. What do you want to say, Bennett?
Have you ever sung in the opera?
No.
No, we're running out of time, which is unhappy. Take your masks off and see you were skirting the edges all the time. Giselle McKenzie. I thought Arlene got it because Giselle is going to be on Perry Como's show on this coming Wednesday night, and I thought that you'd all jump
That's a
for
dirty
it.
trick, that French business. You're Canadian.
Well, I am French. She's there.
Giselle, of
That's
course
a
it is. What is the
Canadian.
matter with you? And Perry Como is the luckiest man in America this week. This is what I say. Wonderful to see you again,
John,
hon.
it's nice to see you.
Thanks very much for coming with us. Oh, boy. You could have done better tonight. So I congratulate you anyway, and we'll be back after this word from our alternate sponsor. And time is short, so I will just say good night, Miss Arlene Francis.
Good night, John. Good night, Dorothy. Good night, Larry. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much, and good night, and bless you, and good night, Miss Palmer.
Bless you. Nice meeting you, Larry. Good night, Bennett.
You were
and
nice
John.
to come home to, Betsy.
Thank you.
Good night, John.
Good night, Bennett. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us on What's My Line?
What's My Line is a CBS television network production in association with Mark Goodson and Bill Todman.
What's My Line? Brought to you by wonderful Florida oranges and grapefruit. Fresh frozen concentrate, canned full strength, and chilled orange juice. All with the natural vitamin C you need every day. And now, let's all play What's My Line?
And now let's meet our award-winning panel of What's My Line. First, the delightful star of stage and television, Miss Arlene Francis.
And now a gentleman who has endeared himself to millions as that Western fellow Paladin in Have Gun Will Travel, and has acquired a whole new audience because of his marvelous dramatic performance on Monday night in the Faulkner drama, Mr. Richard Boone.
Thank you, Arlene. And now here is the charming, talented, and most versatile actress, Miss Betty White.
And there's only one thing that's more fun than reading the surfboard column in this week's magazine, and that's sitting next to the